It's Thursday, September 18th.
There's so much pressure right now, which is sort of pushing them away from each other as each one tries to secure preferential treatment from Washington.
Not the best deal.
Prime Minister Mark Carney heads to Mexico today to bolster a partnership strained by competing interests with the U.S.
That's the only clue that led to the identification of Jacques Bolduc.
Using DNA evidence, Montreal police have solved one of Quebec's highest profile cold cases.
This is truly one of the highest honors of my life. Such respect for you and such respect for your country.
After a day filled with royal pomp and ceremony, things will turn political today as U.S. President Donald Trump meets with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
This is two national networks within a couple months that have bowed down to autocratic rule, really.
I enjoy it.
Following reaction this morning after Jimmy Kimmel's late night show is suspended over comments he made about the killing of Charlie Kirk and the president. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. Hopefully your Thursday is off to a great start.
Let's start with Prime Minister Mark Carney. Where is he going today? He's going to Mexico. The goal of the trip is to strengthen ties with one of our major trading partners.
Mexico is our third most important trading partner, and we're number 5 on their list. There's lots of opportunity to grow there.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum are expected to sign a strategic partnership agreement later today. It is a wide-ranging deal covering everything from infrastructure, trade, health, and security. Last year, Canada did $56 billion in trade with Mexico. The two countries are major trading partners, but at the same time, they're also negotiating separately for the best deal with the U.S. Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit comes as CUSMA goes up for review next year. Canada's interim parliamentary budget officer is raising concerns about government transparency over the budget.
At a macro level, what we're looking for, certainly on our side in the budget, is a plan, an economic plan that will demonstrate how the federal government expects to intervene and provide those supports as part of the transition.
Jason Jacques says the government's plan to reduce the size of the public service through attrition is, quote, highly unlikely to be enough to meet the fiscal targets outlined in the election. Experts warn the federal government will have to make deep cuts to the public service if it hopes to meet its promise to reduce operational spending. But Prime Minister Mark Carney insists the plan is to rely on retirements and resignations. The Liberal election platform had pledged to protect public programs like childcare, dental care, pharmacare as well, while also eliminating $15 billion a year by 2028. Montreal police have cracked a cold case involving a teen who was murdered 17 years ago.
The murderer was Jacques Bolduc.
So in 2008, the body of Catherine Davio was found when police investigated a house fire. There was DNA found at the scene. Investigators were not able to match it at the time until they got a hit tied to a sample from a relative of Jacques Bolduc. Bolduc was a career criminal. He died in prison 4 years ago. Police now say Davio placed an online ad to sell her car. It was Bolduc who answered. Davio's family has been told the case is now considered closed. U.S. President Donald Trump is meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on the second day of his state visit to Britain. So this morning, President Trump left Windsor Castle, headed to the Prime Minister's country house. Prime Minister Starmer and President Trump will view the Sir Winston Churchill archives before holding a bilateral meeting behind closed doors. They will then they will hold a joint news conference later this morning. Trump and Starmer are expected to sign a tech prosperity deal, boosting jobs and investments in AI and nuclear energy.
Together we've done more good for humanity than any two countries in all of history. Together we must defend the exceptional heritage that makes us who we are and we must continue to stand for the values and the people of the English-speaking world, and we do indeed stand for that.
All right, so at a banquet last night, President Trump said his second state visit was one of the highest honors of his life. The king praised the president's personal commitment to finding solutions to world conflict.
I'm here because I think he's disgusting.
This guy and these policies turning the really ugly tide that's been happening now for too many years, where racism is becoming commonplace and acceptable.
President Trump is getting a less friendly response from many Brits who don't agree with his state visit. London's Metropolitan Police estimate about 5,000 people attended anti-Trump demonstrations in the British capital yesterday. Jimmy Kimmel's late night show has been suspended indefinitely after comments he made about the killing of Charlie Kirk.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
So that was from Kimmel's Monday night monologue. The decision to suspend his show came after it was announced that 32 ABC affiliates would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live. U.S. President Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social, writing, quote, "Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done."
Late night is just becoming extinct, you know? Yeah, late night and the freedom to speak your mind.
There's been obviously lots of reaction to the move, from fans to Democratic lawmakers to reporters who say free speech is under attack. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer wrote, quote, "This must go to court." Journalist Don Lemon posted, "This should send a chill down everyone's spine in America." A Montreal driver whose car was damaged after running over a pothole 3 years ago says the pothole, it's still there.
What really blew me away is the funds are being dispersed. And again, I'm going back to, it's not just the financial side. The pothole is still not fixed. So is the pothole right here?
All right, so Francesco Alessi took the city to small claims court and was awarded more than $2,000. Took him 3 years to win the case. And by the way, all these years later, Alessi says the pothole still has not been fixed. The borough says it did fix the pothole several times since 2021. That stretch of road is being monitored for deterioration. At last check yesterday, the pothole was patched. So I think that's what we're looking at there. Have you ever seen someone take their cockatoos for a walk? If not, you're welcome.
Never force any living creature to do what you know that is not in their intention or on their habit, because indirectly they might be telling you, no, I don't feel secure in this environment.
Enrique Esteban frequently takes his cockatoos, Bandito and Corky, for walks through parks in Calgary. Unlike dogs, these pets are not on leashes. Instead, they actually take off into the trees, sometimes for hours, but they always fly back to him. He says after doing this for more than 30 years, the pair of birds treat him like a member of their flock, adding that he's never trained the birds, but says the reason the birds return to him every day is because they've trained him.
Aw.
Cool.
Probably
Beautiful.
because he feeds them.
Right.
I would imagine.
Good guess.
Yeah.